Welcome to Line Trading, going over today's SPY analysis and recap. So first thing that I posted in the pre-market brief for Discord members was to be watching for a few things, and we had this controlled selling right here off the open. I also explained that maybe if we saw a dip down to this 20 and form the shoulder like that, we could do something. I also explained to be looking for this 5-day moving average right here to become some sort of resistance with either a head and shoulder, or if we formed this inverse cup right here and we wanted to go down. Now this inverse cup can still be in play for tomorrow with these moving averages right here, but I will explain more about that in a minute. Before that, we're going to go to the 1-minute chart. So off the open, you can see that we have this selling, but we see it is starting to taper, right, with this yellow, and you could see this inverse head and shoulder entry right there if you wanted to take that. And once again, within the buying continuation, you see we have this yellow controlled selling right here, right on the way up. And once again, you could have taken this inverse head and shoulder right there, as well as this cup and handle within that yellow algorithm right there. And you could also see this algorithm within it as well. Now, like I explained in the pre-market brief, you could not be shorting this until we were below the 5-day moving average, especially not off the open, unless there was some sort of structure saying that you could, right? If you saw a head and shoulder or something, but there was no reason to be shorting this, especially because the moving average, as you can see in the picture, when the market was open, we were still above both moving averages. Now you can also see in the picture I'm explaining to look out for this head and shoulder right off of this liquidity right here, as well as this inverse cup and handle down to that 5-day moving average. And from there, if we see a handle with this head and shoulder rejection right there to break down below not only the 5 but the 20 as well. And that did not end up happening, even though we closed this inverse cup, because this handle I was explaining can either form at this level right here, or say we dumped more down to that moving average and from there form the handle. And we did start to form this handle, but again, you never saw this head and shoulder breakdown right here, so there was no reason to be going short there even after that closure. Now from that failed handle, you can see this inverse head and shoulder right here, as well as this cup that we closed. And when we started to try and form this handle, I'm going to show you why this did not work. So first thing, even though we have the yellow controlled selling right here, you can see, and we're not really breaking down too much, we are starting to form this head and shoulder right here, if you can see that, as well as this inverse cup and handle. You can see this as well. And once again, there's another head and shoulder within that. Now, the reason that we did not break to the upside, and there was no reason to ever be taking it, even though there was yellow and blue controlled selling. Firstly, this would be a very poor area to be taking a new long, especially without the structure confirming it. So you can see that I posted right here that this area was previously support, and now we are turning it to resistance, right? You can see, and that's where we get this head and shoulder. And there was also not a shoulder to the upside. So right here, there was no trade. You can't take that. And even on a smaller picture, there was maybe one entry right here. But like I explained, this was not a good area, and you would not want to be taking a trade right here off of a 1 candle shoulder. Now maybe it would be different if we form this cup and you see this handle right here, and maybe we get something like that. Now that's different than just a 1 candle shoulder that fails, and you can see that we just are trying to hold back below this level. Now what you can also see right here is, once again, this is just straight up. So if we are going to head back down, we can form this head and shoulder right here. And that is exactly what we did with this violent move down right here. Now we're looking for this continuation, right? Once again with that inverse cup, and you can see we're trying to form this handle right here, but it just starts to get very, very choppy. What we're also looking for was on the 30-minute, that same head and shoulder that I explained that we can be forming right here at these levels. You can see right here that I drew, there's several liquidity levels right there to be watching for, and we got the touch into each of them. Now, like I was saying with this chop right here and not getting this immediate breakdown lower for that moving average retest, I was explaining, yes, this is very, very painful having to watch this, right? But give it some time, let it form something, and you can see that we form this head and shoulder right there. You can also see there is another head and shoulder once again, as well as this inverse cup right here, right, with this white algorithm, and you could have taken that trade. Now the rest of my position from this trade right here, I finally was all out down here at the moving average, which was my target. I even took some more after we had this handle right here with this head and shoulder. I added some to my position right here and got even more on this move down. Like I mentioned here, it was not an easy day at all. It was a very tough day, and you had to understand how to trade it correctly. If you were trying to get entries in this chop for hours and hours, I mean, you'll mess your account up trading this. You have to understand, right, to leave the runners from this position up here, right? Protect your trade at the bottom here, and then let those runners run. And once you see some more structure with more entries, right, you can take more off of this, you can take something off of that, and so on. Now, we also remained in a range for most of the day and only got that break at the end of the day. You can see we are within this range right here. So if you were trying to take breakout trades right down here, up there, I mean, it would have not been too good for you, and instead you needed to see what it was actually forming, right? You could have taken those certain trades, same thing here, right? You just have to wait for the structure to form. You need to have patience. If you're forcing trades, rushing trades, taking trades you know you shouldn't be just because you missed out on this straight up pump right here, and you decide, hey, I'm not going to miss this move to the moon now, well, look what happened, right? That's what happens when you don't trade off of the structure. There was no reason to be going long here. You should have been going short. There were several opportunities to do so. You have opportunity here. You have this opportunity here. You can also see this. So the point being is it's okay if you had a bad day, if you messed up, you didn't see the results you wanted to. That is why you are here, to learn and get better and understand how to trade these days correctly and profitably, right? So now we're going to go over what to be watching tomorrow. So going into tomorrow now, what we will be watching is this head and shoulder right here. You can see along with this green algorithm right here. So if we form, right, this larger head and shoulder as well as that inverse cup to break down and continue heading down to this level right here, somewhere in this area with this larger inverse cup, right? Now, if that does happen, we want to see this orange selling continuation right here, and within it, you can see we have the green as well as the white on the way down. So if we see this green and the white on the way down, as we form this inverse cup right here. Now the key here is going to be these two moving averages, whether we are forming, right, that resistance off of them to head down, or in the case, say we were to head back up, we do have this yellow controlled selling as well as this blue right here. And if we form, right, that shoulder off of this 20 and 5-day as support, grabbing that liquidity on the way up, we can form something like this, and target this cup right here. But those moving averages, let them guide you. If we are above them, do not be taking puts. And if we are below them, why are you taking calls? It's just the basic rule of thumb, right? But it does not mean that it is a guarantee. You still need that structure and the algos, right, to confirm that if we are heading down or we are heading up, right, and we're breaking out. So just let that form, see it, and take your trades accordingly. So here on the daily, going over the moving averages and the trend, right, you can see that these are starting to get closer together, which is called basing, and you can see right here that we are deciding if we want to head up or we want to head down. So if this 5-day crosses below the 20 right here, we will then be looking for this bottom Bollinger retest. We can see we have this inverse cup right here as well, along with this bear flag you can see. So tomorrow, right, if we do see us head down like that, that is very possible, or within the next couple days of the week, once we see the 5 and 20 turn to resistance, right, then we can head down. Or if we do form support once again off of them and we want another bounce, just wait to see if that is the case, because that absolutely could happen as well. We must lose those moving averages first. That is going to wrap up the video though. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see members in the morning.